Hello, and welcome to another vlog with me, Jamster. It's been a while, hasn't it? I think it's been like several weeks since I uploaded my last video. It's been a strange couple of weeks, I guess. Very strange. I don't know what to really say about it. It was just not the best of times, I guess. Um, yeah, I think I don't really know what to say really. I mean, I know that I wanted to upload, but at the same time I didn't want to. I just and then I ended up binge watching a bunch of TV shows, which doesn't help. I mean, I think I got very minimal sleep throughout that, but it was something to do than nothing, I guess. If you've never watched, it's called The 100. I strongly recommend. It's it's sort of good. There's parts where it's a bit, I don't know, it's not the best in every part of the show. Like it's mediocre, and then it has parts where it really shines. Um, I enjoyed it mostly. Uh, it starts off in on season one's. You gotta watch the show. At least the first episode to understand it, because anything can, there's literally nothing you can say about that show without spoiling the first episode immediately, which I don't want to do because it is the first episode is what made it interesting, and why I actually watched the entire 3 seasons of it, because I wanted to know what would happen after that, and it was worth it. Um, I guess in other things, Pokemon Go that obviously released, it's all right. I think it was overhyped, and it's only good for people who don't live in the city. I mean, for people who live in cities. My suburb is absolutely terrible. Um, I've got like I think 3 Pokestops, and they're all. I mean, I expected to walk some distance, but they're all grouped up. Thankfully, it's just I don't know. I didn't expect there to be none anywhere else in my suburb. I know that unlike other suburbs, mine doesn't have any shopping centres or any really locations of interest, apart from a zoo or a wildlife sanctuary is what they call it. Um, but and that probably has Pokestops. I don't. But that's like a pretty long walk. It's on the other side of the suburb, pretty much from where I live. I might try it out someday. I don't know. But it is annoying. Like the only gym is on just outside my suburb, so you gotta go across to the next suburb over, across a highway to get to it. It's just, it seems a bit dumb. They didn't really like. I don't know what the go is, and apparently it's the same around the world. It's if you live in the cities, you're having fun with it. I'm guessing because right in the city centers and stuff, there's just Pokestops everywhere. You got like an unlimited supply of Pokemon balls. Pokemon are everywhere. Um, it's a lot better to play the game there, because you're actually like you as you walk, you're actually doing more stuff in terms of the actual game. Whereas in like a suburb like mine, you got to walk at maybe 500 to 600 meters at most before you can encounter something. I mean, if someone lives on the very other end of the suburb, so I sort of live in the middle, they've got to walk even further. I don't even think there is anything else. I kind of wish you could. There was some sort of global map to check, so that I could at least plan where if I wanted to plan to go somewhere, I could go like, yes, if I walk this direction today, I'm going to encounter this. It would be nice, and I actually think that would be better for the game and the whole concept of it, which is to get people outside really to play their game. And if people knew, like, hey, if I go this way, they're more likely to discover places they had no idea about because of the Pokestops and the gyms and all that sort of crap. I don't know why they don't have a global map that you can't check, and I also don't know why requesting Pokestops and stuff like that is so difficult. it just, I don't know. Hopefully it becomes easier enough, but like I think over time the outer suburbs where there's basically nothing will fill up because people are going to request for Pokestops. I don't know how they get exactly go through with it, but I don't know. But I've watched a few YouTube videos, and like for instance, Bristol. If you watch any YouTubers who have played the game there, holy crap, that's pretty good. I haven't seen anyone in New York yet, which I imagine is also pretty good. Um, Anywhere with a dense city is going to have just a shit ton of Pokestops, and I don't blame the Pokemon Niantic or whatever it is for doing it because it's probable. I believe they used the Google Maps API, and if you really look at it, the photos that they used, it's not like they sent someone out around the world to take all those photos. If you go on Google Maps, there's like some sort of option. I can't remember how to do it, but I've done it a few times. You can turn on like photos taken at places, and it'll be photos of various things. And it's used that, and it's used popular ones, I believe, or not even that, just ones that are on there maybe, to create Pokestops. And then it also, I believe, uses their previous game that they made. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like a sort of an augmented reality shooting game. It's like an FPS, but in real life. I don't know. It sounds stupid, but it was apparently good, and it's still out. Like I might try it. I don't think I will though. Pokemon Go is good enough for now, but it is interesting. It's a strange concept, but I do think the game was overhyped. It's very, I guess, lackluster in content if you were to consider it as an actual game. Which some people like. If you watch some of the YouTube videos about it, it was like they were hyping it up to be like this crazy, full-on, proper Pokemon game. And I thought maybe that's what it was. I guess I don't know. Just I was expecting something a bit better for the Pokemon genre. I expected a Pokemon game, not just more of a spin-off title with a sort of. It's a bit gimmicky in a way. Like it's fun, and I'm enjoying it for now. But I think it's not one of those things that will last forever. And I think Nintendo and Niantic have to act quickly to really keep their players around. Because they're gonna, whilst it's hyped up now, a month or two from now, it'll probably be dead. Because once you've really got all the Pokemon, there's not much to do. You've got the gyms, and that's it. I guess gyms and going to the Pokestops, but the Pokestops are useless if you're not catching Pokemon. So I don't know. It's a strange game. I don't know how they plan on really going anywhere with it. But I do know that Nintendo made a shit ton of money overnight. Like their stocks, I think, jumped like by $30 or $40 overnight, which is crazy. I don't know anything really about the stock market, but I do know that big jumps like that is pretty rare. I believe they don't happen very often for companies. It'll be small changes, and then when something big does happen, it's pretty good for your company, I guess. But I don't know. That's all I can really talk about in terms of Pokemon Go. Like, it's fun. I've caught some cool Pokemon, I guess. I would complain about the crazy amounts of Zubats. I think I've got so many Zubats that I could probably create like several thousand level Zubats if the game would let me. Um, you know, it's just I don't have high enough trainer levels, so what can you do? I guess in other news, Overwatch got a new hero. It's kind of cool. I've played a bit of her. She's Farah's mother, Anna. If you haven't seen it already, she's a sniper support class, which is sort of strange. So her sniper rifle works like when it hits an allied teammate, it will heal them, and if it hits an enemy, it deals damage. But it doesn't deal one flat piece of damage. It's like it inflicts an effect. So it's sort of like poison, I guess. It will slowly take damage, and it's like 1.5 seconds, I think, and you take like 60 damage. So it's something that you can. I don't know if it stacks if you have more than one Ana. Not that it really matters, but it's sort of interesting. And then it does the same on your healing, but there's a big downside to the hero, which I discovered very quickly, and that is you can't actually really play her when you're near your teammates because you might be trying to kill an enemy that needs killing quickly. And if your teammates just take a step in front of you, you can't actually shoot through them, which you can with every other hero in the game. It's a bit, I don't know, I think they need to tweak it a bit. Like, most heroes have an alternate fire. I think Anna needs an alt fire so that she can right click to just do damage regardless. Because there are going to be times where that's more necessary than healing. Because, I mean, you can heal targets that are already healed, like fully healed, and it does nothing. You're wasting bullets, and you're wasting time where you could be hitting enemies. Um, it's sort of strange. I think they probably will try and fix it. I think that's my only issue I've had with the hero. Some people think she's overpowered. I can see that being the case with a really good player and a good team. She is going to be an absolute game changer. Her ultimate, I think, gives her like the targeted player on your team like 50% extra damage, 50% more speed, and then like 50% less damage taken or something like that. It's then probably not right, but that's crazy. And considering a lot of heroes got a bunch of buffs and debuffs, it'll be very interesting indeed. The only thing that I'm not happy with Overwatch at the moment is the changes to competitive mode. They are implementing a limit on all heroes. So in competitive, if you go to play it and someone locks in a character, then you can't play that character. And it seems like a good idea at first, but it's just gonna destroy the game. It's not gonna work. I don't believe it could work. It would work in a MOBA, but Overwatch isn't a MOBA. It's just the issue is, and it really comes down to, even in MOBAs, people control by choosing heroes that they like. Because I know that I'm pretty sure, like League of Legends, at least, once you choose a hero, it's locked in. Like no one else can play it. I believe. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm fairly certain that it's single heroes. So you play someone, and then that's, no one else can choose that someone. I don't know if it's the same in Dota. I really don't know if it's the same in either of them. But I do believe that's the case. Or at the very least, matchmaking tries to not match you with the same heroes, because I think you lock in your hero preferences before you play. At least from what I've seen when Zershades played League of Legends, he locks in the like type of class. Like he wants to play top lane or jungle or bottom lane or mid or whatever, and then the game tries to put you in as, and that's your sort of meant to be what your role will be, which is not bad, I guess. It's probably something Overwatch could do with. It'd be better to match teams up with people who are intending to play as a healer or intending to play as a damage or a DPS or a tank or whatever. That would probably help the competitive game, just because at least solo queue for now. But there is the issue with the hero limits. That with trolls, they will just choose whatever the fuck they want. They don't care. If they know that you're discussing with your team, I'm thinking Pharah might work, they'll just choose Pharah. They wouldn't give a shit. Even if they're like the worst player in the world, they don't care about their rankings either. There's a lot of people who are still trying to achieve rank 1. I don't know how or why, but they are. It seems too abusable. And I don't think it's going to make the game fun, at least in solo queue. Maybe if I've managed to find a group of people to play with in the competitive games, it could be fine, because I'd be happy to choose a specific role each time. Knowing that the rest of my team is good at the roles they're choosing would make it fine for me to have a hero limit. But in solo queue, you don't know that. You don't know who's good on what. And the game doesn't really give you enough time to even check. Someone can play as Genji every single, match that they want, but they might not be good at it all, and there's, well, a lot of people who aren't. It really, like, I went on like, if you go to the Overwatch forums on the competitive mode, and you go to probably, like, I think it was like page 14 to like page 17 of the forum post that's pinned about the hero limit. There's a lot of responses from me in there, because I was just not happy when I first read it. It feels like Blizzard gave in to the people who wanted it and didn't listen to the rest of the community who didn't want it, and it feels like a dick move. Like they didn't think what they were doing. They didn't try to improve the experience with any other fixes. I mean, there are advantages. There's no doubt advantages. It does fix problems with the game that simply will always be there with hero stacking. There are certain heroes that are so powerful with themselves. I believe Winston, every time you add him, it's like exponentially increases his damage and his rate to kill a single hero. I think it goes, if you have one hero, it takes, one Winston, it would take 4 seconds. 2 Winstons, it would take 1 second. 3 Winstons, I don't even know how long, but it probably takes like less than half a second. And that's just simply because of the way his abilities work and what it does. And it was curious. You'd think like when you stack heroes, it would be like a linear stacking, or linear output or benefits, and it wasn't. I mean, actually, it sort of is. It's a bit strange. It's sort of linear on some heroes, and then in most heroes, beyond like 2 or 3 of the same type, it drops. So you start getting your benefits sort of. I guess it's like a logarithmic function. It's sort of your benefits get less and less as you stack more of the same hero, and that's pretty much true with all 22 heroes now. The more of them you have, just simply the worse your team will do. It's not because your team isn't necessarily going to be good with skilled players. It's the heroes themselves can't outperform other heroes. Like, for instance, the new hero, Anna. She has no movement abilities, so she's 100% support in that, but she doesn't get the movement. She's a bit like Zenyatta if you have played the game. She can't move very fast. Or the Zenyatta, I think, has been tweaked to move a bit faster now. But the result is that she's not a high damage dealer either. She's pretty much meant to be support. She's designed that way. So she's kind of like Mercy, Lucio, and Zenyatta, or less Zenyatta, because Zenyatta he's probably going to get debuffed soon, before he gets implemented into like their buff will probably be tweaked because he shreds people with accuracy. Like I've seen some people play him, and he just puts a Discord order on you, and he can like two-shot almost every hero. It's a bit stupid. I think he will be changed because I've not like out of all the heroes, I've never actually thought one of them was overpowered. The McCree combo that got nerfed, that was a little bit, but I never really saw it heavily abused. But now I'm sort of seeing this Zenyatta thing, and I'm just like, yeah, that's not going to last long. But there's so many heroes that did get buffed and changed. So, it... I don't know, it's... Ow, fuck. Oh, I just hit my, my elbow. Anyway, yeah, it frustrated me a lot. I haven't had a chance to try it. I've tried to try out the new competitive mode, because I'm not normally one to judge on something without at least knowing more about it. But in this case, it's just I see so much negative things that will come with the hero limits. It pisses me off. Like, who would in their right mind just... the game that I bought did not have hero limits. That is the thing that I think annoys me the most. I did not buy a game that had hero limits, and I want to play competitively, but not with hero limits. And sure, maybe that might be only my opinion, but the reality is there's a better chance that the people complaining on the forums and on Reddit and all the places in the freaking wherever about hero stacking are a vocal minority, sorry, and that the majority are being quiet about it. Because who complains about something they enjoy? They only complain when other people are try to fuck it up for them. I was happy with the game. There were issues with it, sure. There were problems with that game, but even with hero stacking had problems. But Blizzard went the laziest fucking route in the world and just decided to trash a game that I don't know what they were doing. I don't know if they're gonna go through with the whole hero limiting thing, but it's probably gonna force people off of competitive, and I can see it being just so bad, especially in the ranks below 50 in terms of competitive, because it's only being implemented in competitive. So quick play, it will be fine. Um, if I want to play Overwatch, how I want to play it, quick play is the place. But the issue is, quick play is not competitive. People aren't expected to win or attempt to win. They're expected to probably just be there to have fun, which is fine. That's what I thought it was supposed to be for. I thought the idea was competitive is for the people who wanted to try hard. Really have a good team, and I guess still have fun, but in a different environment. And the idea is that you're more likely to be matched with people who understand the core concepts of the game, understand the characters they're playing, and be marginally good with them. And that's all I wanted in competitive. And to be able to play heroes that I actually enjoy and not be forced onto it. That's the other thing. But with hero limits, I'm good with probably 6 or 7 out of the 22 heroes. And now that's kind of alright, because 6 or 7 means I at least can pick one of those 6 or 7 heroes. But when you come down to the higher tier tactics, even though in the ranks I'm at, that doesn't matter, people could choose all the heroes and then leave like a role open where you specifically need like a sniper or a flanker to go around or to kill. Like you sort of get the idea. Like even though there's only 4 roles in the game, there's support, defense, tank, and offense. There are sub roles within them. You got the sniper for inside defense. You've got heroes that are designed to simply block off areas. Try and prevent other players from getting through there. It's, I guess, crowd control heroes, and that's also part of defense. That's really the two in defense that there are. Tanks have aggressive tanks and defensive tanks, and then offense you've got just straight up DPSs, flankers, and then there's I guess a few that probably don't really fit in either, but they're there. I'm trying to think. You've got McCree, who is an anti-flanker, but he's also a DPS now, so he fills in 2 different roles, I guess, is the point. Farah is a DPS, but she's also a flanker. Like, you get the point. Like, you have heroes that do have specialist roles, sort of, and their purpose in the game is sort of set by their hero kits. And a good team composition will have maybe at least one flanker, an anti-flanker if the team has a flank, and if your enemy has a flanker, kind of things. You have to coordinate or base your composition off the enemy team, and try and build one that's good for your game. But not everyone's going to be good on Genji. Not everyone's going to be good on Tracer, and they're pretty much the 2 main heroes that you'd use to flank around, and sort of distract heroes and pick them off if they're running for health packs and stuff. And then you got heroes like all the tanks pretty much. You need to be like, someone has to be good at the tank for it to be effective, and there's just so many people shit at it. I mean, I'm not the best at them. Like, I typically don't tank. Instead, I just become a huge threat so that they have to kill me instead of try and defend. And that I'm talking about playing on Reinhardt. I rarely use the shield because I've discovered that people don't expect Reinhardt to be swinging his hammer at them, and he deals insane damage. But I've seen so many people where and it's really more because no one stands behind Reinhardt's shield. Like, I don't get it. Who the fuck says, let's get a Reinhardt, and then they don't stand behind the Reinhardt shield ever? It's just like, there's no point to having Reinhardt shields at all. He might as well just be given higher damage output, and just maybe a faster movement speed, and just let him just swing his hammer around, and just be a big threat that they've got to take out. And that's really it. Like, his kit, despite it being defensive, the shield is rarely used. Like, when I do use it, people are never there. They always run off into some stupid place, and I'll watch on the kill field and they'll die in like 2 seconds because they run either in front of the shield or slightly to the right of the shield, and they're dead. Just like, well, good fucking job, you morons. There's a shield, you can shoot through it. Why do you keep fucking walking through it? I Overwatch is actually, I don't know. It pisses me off. Too many stupid people. Like, they just don't understand it. I mean, admittedly, I've walked through Reinhardt's shields before, but then I immediately walk back because it's like, I don't want to get shot at, and I don't really want to die. It's kind of a pretty simple idea. Not dying and not getting shot at is pretty basic in a shooter, and people don't understand that. They don't use... I don't even get it. People play Genji. Genji is an incredibly hard hero to master. If you don't know how to play him, or you think you can play him, because most people think they can, you probably can't play him. Right? Genji is one of those heroes that you need to know how to play, and no one knows how to play him. I mean, if you spend 100 hours on him, you might understand him better, but he's very unique in that he can be extremely difficult to deal with, but you have to be good at him. If you're not good at him, he is useless. All you're doing is just freaking jumping around, running up walls for a couple of seconds, using a fucking sword to fly into the air and just fall into the ground and die. It does nothing. You accomplish nothing if you do that as a Genji. It's so stupid. It's the same with other heroes. Like Hanzo and Widowmaker. They're alright. When they're in the right hands. If someone's good at those heroes and they snipe a lot of enemies out, they're good. They don't have to be on objectives. But I've seen so many of them. It'll be, overtime, and we just need to contest the point, and there'll be a fucking Widowmaker or a Hanzo who'll be like just off the point, who could just contest it, so we can win the game, or so we can prevent the enemy from capturing it and continuing the game. All they have to do is just suicide onto it, get us a couple of seconds. It doesn't matter that they die. You get us a couple of seconds to break the attack, hold it off, and then win the game. And people they just stand there. They don't care. It's like that, and then they'll go and bitch and rage about every other freaking thing in the game. They'll be like, oh, it's just, I don't know. How the fuck do these people play games? Why do they even exist? Games are meant for fun, not to fucking sit there and ruin other people's experience because you think you're good at something. Like, it's so stupid. I've seen countless people who, I don't know, they get all pissed at people who are actually not playing bad. I mean, I think Widowmaker and Hanzo are an interesting pair of heroes because they work well in what they do. They are effective snipers when they're played well. When the person using them is a good sniper, they are obviously going to be a good sniper. I'm sort of... I don't know what the fuck I'm saying anymore. But you get the point. But people will see... But the reason... that they... if you've read any Overwatch shit... Oh my god, my nose is so itchy. I don't know why. The people just bitch about snipers. You choose sniper on offense, you'll get bitched at. Even though they actually can be really handy and effective. But then there's other issues, like, if you're playing, let's say, Widowmaker, and you're getting out-sniped by the other Widowmaker almost every time that you get near the enemy team. Why are you still playing it? Just simple as that. Why are you still playing as Widowmaker? You can change heroes. That's actually what Overwatch is about. If you're getting dominated by a hero, switch to someone else so you can dominate that other hero. And that's the way the game works. You're meant to switch up, and it's just no one does it. No one does it. I've seen it happen a few times, but for the most part, no one switches up, and it's just stupid. Like, I can just foresee, like, this whole one hero limit just fucking everything up. Widowmakers and Hanzos need to be in the right hands. Same with Genji's, Tracers. There are heroes that need high skill players, and you could have one of those on your team, but they don't get the Genji or the Widowmaker or the Hanzo or whatever it is they play that needs a high skill player. And it's just gonna make it so much harder to fucking play the game. It's just stupid. Well, if I don't stop now, I'm gonna ramble on and rant forever. I think I just ranted for a solid 15 minutes on Overwatch. I think it started off a little bit nice, and then I just dropped it, didn't I? Well, I've been Jamster. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.